You close your eyes, the room is quiet, and somehow that's the problem. No fan, no TV, no rain sounds, just silence. And your brain? Fully awake, fully alert, ready to think about every embarrassing thing you've ever done since 2009. If this is you, stay right here. Because today we're diving into the psychology of people who literally cannot sleep without background noise. And trust me, there's a lot more going on in your brain than you think. You know the routine. You get into bed, you're tired. But the moment the room goes completely silent, something in you refuses to shut down. So you grab your phone, you type rain sounds, 8 hours. Or maybe you turn on the fan, even in Harmattan, even in the cold. The fan isn't for air. The fan is for your mind. Your roommate thinks you're strange. Your partner is confused. But you sleep like a baby the moment that white noise kicks in. So what is actually going on? Here's what's happening. Your brain is always listening, even when you think you're resting. A part of your brain called the amygdala is on patrol. It scans your environment for anything unusual, any threat, any sudden sound, any change. In complete silence, that patrol unit goes into overdrive. Every tiny creak of the house, every drip from the tap, every distant sound from outside becomes a potential alert. Background noise, especially consistent noise like a fan or rain, works as what psychologists call auditory masking. It gives your brain one steady, predictable sound to lock onto. And when the brain has nothing new to investigate, it finally stands down. It relaxes, and sleep comes. Now let's talk about what this actually says about your personality, because this isn't random. Studies show that people who rely on background noise to sleep tend to score higher in what psychologists call sensory processing sensitivity. In plain language, you feel everything more deeply, you notice more, you think more. Your nervous system is finely tuned. You're likely someone who gets easily overstimulated in loud environments during the day, but paradoxically, you need a controlled, steady level of sound at night to feel safe enough to let go. Think about it. Are you someone who notices things other people miss, who replays conversations, who finds it hard to switch off your thoughts even when you're exhausted? If yes, this is connected. Your brain is high performance, and high performance engines need the right conditions to cool down. There's also a strong connection between needing background noise and anxiety. Now, I'm not saying everyone who does this has an anxiety disorder, most don't, but the tendency to seek sound at bedtime is often linked to a mind that finds it genuinely difficult to be still. In complete silence, your thoughts get louder. The things you pushed aside during the day, the worry, the to-do list, the conversation you replayed 10 times, they all show up at night. The silence gives them a stage. Background noise acts as a kind of mental curtain. It doesn't solve the thoughts, but it gives your brain just enough sensory input to stop amplifying the internal noise. And for many people, that's the difference between lying awake until 3 a.m. or actually sleeping. Here's something fascinating. For a lot of people, this habit didn't start as an adult. It started in childhood. If you grew up in a household where there was always some background noise, a TV in the living room, music from the kitchen, sounds of siblings, your brain learned to associate those sounds with safety, with the presence of people, with home. So when you became an adult and suddenly found yourself in a quiet flat or a quiet room, something in your brain flagged it as unfamiliar, as slightly off, and that small signal of unease was enough to keep you awake. Your brain isn't broken. It's actually doing exactly what it learned to do. It's looking for the signal that says, the people are here, you are safe, you can sleep now. And a fan or background noise, that's your brain's shortcut to that feeling. Not all background noise sleepers are the same. Let's break down the types. First, there's the fan person. This is the most classic. The fan isn't for temperature, it's purely for the hum. If the power goes out at night, they wake up immediately, not from heat, from the sudden silence. Then there's the TV sleeper. They don't actually watch TV, they need the mumble of voices, the feeling that someone is talking somewhere nearby. It recreates the comfort of not being alone. Then there's the nature sounds person. Rain, ocean waves, jungle sounds. These people tend to be more intentional about their sleep. They've done the research. They've found what works. They're probably also the type to own a diffuser and take sleep seriously as a practice. And finally, the lo-fi music person. They need rhythm, something soft and steady. They often fall asleep mid-song and don't even notice. These tend to be creative types, writers, artists, people whose minds run on patterns. Now, some of you might be wondering, is this unhealthy? Is it a crutch? Should I try to sleep without it? Here's the honest answer. For most people, no, it's not a problem. Using background noise to sleep is one of the most common and studied sleep aids. Hospitals even use white noise machines in neonatal wards to help newborns sleep. Sleep researchers widely consider it a healthy and effective tool. Where it can become a concern is if you're completely unable to sleep in any environment that doesn't have your specific sound, even in situations where you can't control it. If you're canceling travel, losing sleep in hotels, or it's causing real disruption to your life, it might be worth exploring with a sleep specialist. But for the vast majority of people, you're not broken, you're not weak, you've just found what works for your brain, and that's actually smart. So let's take a step back, because I want you to feel something for a second. The fact that you need a sound to feel safe enough to sleep, that's not weakness. That's actually your brain communicating something important. It's saying, I work hard, I carry a lot, I process deeply, and I need just a little help letting go at the end of the day. That is not something to be ashamed of. That's something to understand about yourself. In fact, research in neuroscience shows that people who are highly sensitive, who feel things deeply, who think carefully, are often the same people who contribute the most creatively and empathetically to the world around them. Your wiring isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It just needs the right settings. So, the next time someone asks you why the fan is on in December, just smile, because now you know it's not about the temperature, it's about the type of mind you have. So, did this describe you? Did you find yourself nodding along thinking, this is literally me? Drop a comment below. Tell me what your go-to sleep sound is. Fan, rain, TV, lo-fi? I want to know. And if you know someone who keeps the fan on all year round or has a whole YouTube playlist for sleeping, send this video to them, because now they'll finally have the answer. If you're new here, welcome to Mind Tactics. Every week, we break down the psychology behind the everyday things you do, the habits, the feelings, the patterns, and we explain why your brain works the way it does. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And until then, sweet dreams, hopefully with your fan on.